The mines of Outpost M13.
Alright, I haven't seen this yet, so I wanna...
Slimy alien creatures.
Slimy
Are these
alien
deadly
creatures.
parasites the asteroid's only threat? Or does something larger and hungrier await deeper within the shadows?
Escape from Outpost M13. I love these, like, old sci-fi movie intros. Shenanigans back again, and welcome to MMOMG. This month, we're checking out WildStar, a free-to-play theme park MMO developed by Carbine Studios and published by NCSoft. Please note that the game recently received an update that includes new endgame content and character progression, making it a fairly relevant title to look at this month. WildStar is a class-based MMO with a sci-fi setting and a cartoonish art style. If the phrase WoW in space comes to mind, you're not too far off. The overall aesthetic is relatively similar to that of World of Warcraft, and I feel that's a pretty smart stylistic decision. Realistic graphics often feel dated in the long run, sometimes even after a few years, and tend to look pretty bad on lower-end systems. The sci-fi space opera setting, combined with magic, allows for just about anything to be plausible as a quest or storyline. Character creation is on the low side of adequate by today's standards, but I've definitely seen worse. Most features are pretty basic with set options at your disposal, but you do get a selection of body types, and the face in particular has a full set of sliders. WildStar uses the two-faction player system, that of Dominion and Exile, which is common for theme park MMOs. Humans are found on both factions, while a half-dozen other races are available, from the robotic Mechari to the undead Mordesh. Non-humans are restricted by what classes they can be, so keep that in mind when deciding what you want to play. There are 6 available classes, half of which can be healers, the other half can tank, and all of them can choose to focus on damage. Here's a brief rundown. Engineers use exosuits and big guns to deal damage and withstand that damage, and can summon robot companions to provide various forms of support. They can either tank or provide ranged DPS. Espers use their mental prowess to attack with Psyblades, Thought Blasts, and Nightmares, while bolstering allies' minds and bodies. They can heal or provide ranged DPS, with some builds providing decent crowd control. Medics use a number of devices that can either hurt or heal depending on the situation. They shock people with their resonator, deploy probes, or place down fields to turn the tide of battle. They can provide ranged DPS or heal, and are known for their mobility and flexibility. Spell slingers combine magic, acrobatics, and gunfighting with deadly effect. They can devastate foes with their dual pistols infused with arcane energy, or enhance friends with a variety of sorcerous effects. Spell slingers can heal or provide ranged DPS. Stalkers use nanotechnology to provide stealth and find an enemy's weaknesses. They strike with claws, darts, spikes, and mines, leaving a bloody mess as they fade away. Stalkers can provide melee DPS or tank. Warriors come equipped with a power sword, an armed cannon, and a bad attitude. As you might expect, they excel at tanking and providing melee DPS. In addition to your faction, race, and class, characters also choose one of 4 paths. Each path provides unique experiences and opportunities corresponding with popular playstyles. Paths also gain separate XP and levels for completing their missions, with rewards for each milestone. The 4 paths are as follows. Explorers are tasked with getting to remote locations, tracking anomalies, and setting up surveillance ops. Scientists use their scanbot to analyze relics, flora, fauna, and the environment. They tend to get access to more in-game lore. Settlers highlight the social aspects of the game by providing upgrades and amenities to outposts and providing civil defense. They get an increased drop rate to housing items. Soldiers are tasked with a variety of combat-oriented missions. If you like fighting waves of enemies, making things go boom, and testing experimental weapons, this is probably the path for you. Choosing this additional path adds a nice layer on top of your character by tailoring special missions to the way that you enjoy playing. I feel they could use a little bit more in-game description when creating a character, but otherwise I really enjoy the system. The combination of pets, attacking multiple enemies, and the possibility of tanking provided by the engineer seemed like a perfect choice for me, and after some thought I decided on the scientist path. I really wanted to go Explorer, but realized I'd probably spend way too much time wandering around and less time actively leveling. As for combat, WildStar is often called an action MMO, but this has been a point of contention for players expecting intricate dodges and parries a la Vindictus or some of the more modern MMOs. While all characters indeed do have a dodge ability, this only allows you to escape from special attacks. Mobs often use basic attacks known as white damage, which are unavoidable even if you've seemingly dodged them. See, WildStar's combat isn't necessarily action-based, tab target, or even a true hybrid, since you rarely select targets for attacks. It's really all about your position in relation to telegraphs on the ground. Almost every attack available to characters is an AoE of some kind, with a specific template showing what area it affects. Mobs also have these attacks, but they're considered special attacks and they only happen periodically. The rest of the time, mobs are essentially using a fairly weak auto attack. Characters with light armor take more damage even from these basic attacks, but they're often more mobile and tend to do more damage to make up for it. In all, the combat is a little different from other MMOs, but it doesn't take that long to get used to, especially if you're used to watching for AoEs in other games, which notably has become more common since WildStar's release. Questing in WildStar is on par with current MMOs, with NPC hubs and basic kill and collect quest types. As with a number of recent titles, many quests can be turned in from anywhere, since long-distance communication is kind of a given in this high-tech setting. Additionally, you'll encounter challenges that trigger after killing a certain type of enemy, or investigating a terrain feature, etc. While these are obviously scripted events, they give the illusion of a dynamic or spontaneous experience when they pop up. Thankfully, WildStar features a vast open world that's very explorable. I've been surprised several times just this week after making some of those I wonder if I can get up there travels to find either an actual reward, a secluded camp, a terrain feature, something, which I feel is a nice touch. Zones feature open borders in that you don't have to go through a portal and look at a load screen. Getting from point A to B in a large world like this isn't all that difficult, thankfully. Mounts are cheap, taxis are available in many towns, and you have access to at least a handful of recall points. As for personal progress, my first few days in game felt a little slow as I got used to it, but things picked up a bit once I had access to a couple of instances, and they really took off around level 15 after having enough money to buy a permanent mount. After 30 hours of somewhat casual play, my engineer is level 20-something, with a scientist level at 11. I picked up mining, weaponsmithing, and cooking. Yes, trade skills are a thing. And I even have my own plot of land with a house, some decorations, and its own mining node. While I'd love to go more in-depth on all of those things, we've kind of run out of time for this episode. In the following weeks, I hope to cover player housing, the various types of instances, crafting, trade skills, runes, character progression systems, and more. You can join me on the NA server or watch live Sundays through Wednesdays starting 8 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/shenanigans1930. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more MMO-related content, and follow me on Twitter to get all the latest updates. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys. I'm a radish. Look at me, I'm a radish. I'm a radish. Radish on radish crime.